Hey guys, it's Braden from Team ToooBananas. I received a request on one of my videos for my Musketeer deck. They wanted to see me build a budget version because this deck is very fun to play. And there's some people who can't afford cards like Ash Blossom and Evenly Matched. So definitely, some cards can definitely be switched out for that. So I went ahead and made a deck profile. I want to do a deck profile based on my budget version of this deck. It's still pretty powerful. Of course, without Ash and stuff like that, it's still an evenly matched. It kind of breaks it down. But you can still play it. It makes it really good. So I'm going to start with the Musketeer cards. For the traps, you play 3 Desperado, 3 Last Stands, 1 Fiendish Steel, and 2 Dancing Needles. Basically, Dancing Needles is really good. Especially with cards, when you're playing at Spiral, you get rid of all of their Spiral cards, so Sleeper can't come into play. It gets rid of the ABC combo pieces. It gets rid of a lot of different things. Desperado, basically, with this deck, you play them out of hand. So you don't have to worry about these getting destroyed. These get rid of your big targets. The only thing this really doesn't work against is, of course, like Masterpiece, who's immune to traps and stuff like that. Being really good. Last Stand is basically your negative spell and trap cards. It's really good, especially when it can be played from hand. And then, of course, you get your search effects, special effects from your monsters. Fiendish Deal is just one of those. Not a lot of decks play this card. I think it's good at 1 just because of the fact it is a musket card, so it can be played from hand and allows the triggers to activate. So it's a really good card in my opinion.
So why do you play them at these ratios?
I play these at these ratios because Dancing Needles, of course, you want to banish all the targets out of graveyard, and that gets rid of three possible cards from either player's graveyard. So if you're playing... say that you want to mix this up and play with Necroface, play Dark Synchro, Dark whatever. You can get rid of the Necroface and just keep going with either Millions. And then, of course, getting rid of a lot of the major deck big monsters to stop them from being able to do anything else with it.
Okay.
I played 3 Cross Dominations of the spell card. I don't play Steady Hands in this deck, even though it does double the attack and defense. I don't like it.
Why not?
Because of the fact that with Cross Domination, you dropping them to 0 is enough. Plus their effects are negated, so you're gonna get their effect plus run over their monster. Plus this is a quick play and it can be played during the damage step like the other one can, but I prefer this card over it.
Okay.
For monsters, I played 1 Kid Brave, 1 Wild, 1 Calamity, 1 Doc. These are good at 1. Calamity I've seen played at 2, or Kid Brave I've seen played at 2. I'm sorry, because of the fact that this ditches 1 to draw 2, but unfortunately this gets ashed a lot, so you really lose the effect of it. Wild is basically the Dagusto Emerald of the deck, or it's the True Draco Disciples, if you think about it. Because it puts any 3 Musketeer cards back in the deck and draw 1.
Pretty good.
And then Calamity, it's okay. It puts it, you target a Musket card, monster in your graveyard and special summon it, and then Doc adds it back to hand. So basically these are okay. I like Doc a lot better because you put the spell or trap cards back to hand. And then Calamity puts the monsters back on the field. So, versus that, it's not that bad. And then, of course, you play the 3 Caspars and the 3 Starfire. There's no way around not playing these at 3. Unfortunately, they are still a little pricey. It's in about 25 a piece for these. And these
but you have to play them.
You have to play these at 3. If you don't, then don't bother playing this deck.
Okay.
Because you need the Surge, and then this is special summoning. These are the main pieces of the deck. If you don't want to play these at these ratios, just get rid of the deck, don't play it. For extra cards, as far as spell and traps are concerned, 2 Typhoon is good, especially when they're playing True Draco. They play the second one. They play basically, True Draco players like to do like Heritage, and they'll flip a return just to keep it on board. They try to use the effect, you chain Typhoon, get rid of the card, and then trigger your effect. So, because of the fact that it all works.
It's pretty good.
3 double summons. Just to get the additional summons off and get effects, so you can keep building your board. Upstart Goblin, because it is at 40 cards, basically playing a 39 card deck. Your opponent may get 1,000, but it gives you an additional card advantage. Regeki for the board wipe. Hand traps, I only play 1 in the main deck. I play Maxi.
So for budget players, would you run Dark Hole over Regeki, or would that really hurt the deck?
I feel that Dark Hole is not good, especially in this deck, because you want to keep your board. Regeki, if you're going to try to play something that's budget, they do have lower rarities in this card.
What about someone who can't spend like 20?
You can probably play like Lightning Vortex.
Okay.
May cost you to discard, but it's better than Dark Hole.
But you can't run Dark Hole?
No, because you don't want if you dark hole the field, your monsters won't have time to trigger their effects. So you're clearing the board. But the bad thing is you really have nothing to build back off of.
Okay.
Then the Solemn package. I played actually 3 strikes and a warning. Because of the fact that you can set these wherever you put the Musketeers, you negate a summon, you negate an effect, and then you get a trigger and effect off of that. Basic. 3-dimensional barriers. Because of the fact that, unfortunately, this isn't the best against Link cards, but it stops, like, the XYZ plays for, like, Princess Sprite, or it stops, like, Burning Abyss, you face Dante, stuff like that. So this stops the basics. It stops Pendulum Magician, so it can stop a lot of decks, plus get your effects off.
For people who don't want to play Dimensional Barrier, would you recommend anything else, like a Quaking or anything like that?
You could play Drowning Mirror Force, you could play Quaking Mirror Force, any type of Mirror Force would work, just don't play the regular one.
Okay, obviously you don't.
But yeah, you can play any of those. They're actually really good. Drowning would probably be the best one because they're gonna blow up your monsters regardless. You just shuffle them back in the deck and then they're done. And then just for a little bit more spell trap removal, I played 2 MST. I like Mystical Space Typhoon over Twin Twister.
Why?
Because of the fact that you don't have to discard. This basically you don't have to discard a card. I may get rid of 2 cards, but
why not Cosmic Cyclone?
It's okay. I actually played in the side deck versus the main deck. Because of the fact of the 1,000-point loss, I just feel that this would be better in the main deck versus having Cosmic Cyclone. It may banish the card, but with this, there's not really a cost to it.
Okay.
And then the last card in the main deck is Soul Charge. Because let's say that they Dark Hole you, you're going to bring back your board and just keep going.
Okay.
You don't really want to... basically, this is a control deck, so you want to be able to keep monsters on your board to control the flow of the game. For the extra deck, we played Tornado Dragon, DDD Stone King Darius, F-Zero, Nightmare Shark, Mech-Whipped Engineer, Dante, Baguska, Totally Awesome, Trigate Wizard, ABC Dragon Buster, Double Helix, Borload, Deco Talker, and Foxy Dragon. As you can tell, it is less than 15 cards. That's because this deck doesn't run a lot of extra deck cards. The cards that you're mainly going to pull out for your use is going to be the Darius, Engineer, Deco Talker, and Proxy Dragon. Otherwise, a lot of this would be like Reaper targets, like especially Dante, stuff like that. A lot of these are very situational. Like there might be a time where you go into a, well, if I could not drop it, go into a Baguska, or there's times where you go into a Tornado Dragon using 2 Starfires or using a Wild and a Starfire. But these are probably the main ones you go into. Trigate Wizard is going to see a lot of play with the new Link Karibo coming out. If I had that, that would be in the extra deck as well. But you want to stop the Trigate Wizard because of the fact of Trigate Wizard. If they get that board, you're done. You're not going to be able to do anything because they can negate anything you try to pull. Going into the side deck, I played 1 DD Crow. Because of the fact of DD Crow, you get rid of the quick fix. You cut down anyone's place. I don't feel like with the space that I had in the side deck, I feel like this was good at 1. There's some things I could change this with. I could put a 3rd Dancing Needle in instead of this. But you want to be able to banish their cards out of graveyard.
Okay.
3 Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbits. I put this in the side deck because of the fact that in the main deck you want to have the spell and trap cards to be able to use your effects versus it. 2 Mistakes, especially against Burning Abyss. A lot of decks that search. The only card in your deck that really searches is Caspar. A lot of the other cards are basically, they don't add to hand. They're either special summoning. They're either from graveyard to hand. This only prevents deck to hand, so it hurts a lot of other decks. 2 Cosmic Cyclone, because of the fact of being able to banish stuff. You play against Shoot Draco. If you destroy stuff with MST, it's perfectly fine unless you're playing against Shoot Draco because you don't want the effects to go off. 3 Droll and Lockbird. I just wanted to have more hand traps. This prevents searching. I would replace this if you were trying to go budget because Droll and Lockbirds are still pretty up there. You would go and replace these with Effect Veilers. Okay. Effect Veiler is seeing a lot more play now, especially because of the fact that it just negates it during the main phase, which is unfortunate because it is only during the main phase. But yeah, if you can't afford these, definitely go into Effect Veiler. 2 Artifact Lancias, prevent the banishing. And then 2 Magical Spring, for if they try to add cards from every time they add cards next to hand, you get to draw a card. So basically, you're just refilling your hand while they're getting their searches. So you're being able to get into your hand traps, you're being able to get into more of your combo pieces for you to be able to, when they end their turn, if they can't kill you, you got to make sure you can kill them.
Okay.
So this deck again, of course, I play the more advanced or more expensive version because I play the Ash Blossoms and the evenly matched stuff like that. So my deck build from the first video is more of my playstyle. This is for there's a lot of people I understand that can't afford or they don't like to spend the money on stuff, especially with the way the game has been, where they'll hit expensive cards or they'll you're spending all this money on this game just for it to get hit a week later. I completely understand where that's coming from. But there you have it. There is the budget form of Magical Musketeers. This is Braden from Team ToooBananas saying, please check out our channel and subscribe for more videos. If you have any more requests of any decks that you would like to see us deck build, please let us know in the comments down below. You guys have a great day.